Hello everyone, welcome to the presentation. My name is Ruth Agbo and today I'll be talking about cloud infrastructure. Moving to the cloud, a game changer for the town of Grand Canyon. So I have my laptop in front of me and with my PowerPoints. So bear with me if I move back and forth like between PowerPoint and this. So let's go ahead and start. Introduction. The town of Grand Canyon system that is currently being used is outdated and not taking care of the demands. The latest discovery of 150 security flaws within the current system clearly shows what this infrastructure really is. Around one-third of these problems affecting major security areas were tagged as critical, which could create data protection problem in governmental organizations in the future. The system's obsoleteness makes the town of Grand Kenya work ineffectively and her efforts to answer the people's needs unfruitful as well. The reasons for the current situation include slow processes, security gaps, and the inconvenience of adapting to new security or new technologies. A cloud-based system is capable of growing and securing operations to make them more forward looking for the town of Grand Canyon. This is solved by establishing the cloud, which in turn results in upgraded information security and productivity. Cloud computing Cloud computing that is more up to date requires the town of Grand Canyon continuously to upload best level of security and dependability to the residents. Sorry. Benefit of the cloud infrastructure: cost savings. It eliminates the necessity of expensive hardware on site. It pays for the space and the tools that are actually used. The next point is scalability. Instantly increase or decrease resources as situation demands. So if you need bigger space, it provides that for you. If you need to scale down, it also provides that option. So it provides scalability based on your options and demands. Improved access. Authorized personnel can securely access the data from any place and at any time. It enhances security, applies cryptography, regular security assessment, and non-stop monitoring. HIPAA compliance and privacy maintenance, protecting the electronic personal health record. Encryption is a way that can is in Encryption is a way that data can be concealed from attackers while it is being transmitted or stored. Setting up and Setting up access control that are very strict will make sure that only the personnel who have proper authorization can access the sensitive information. The next point is provider responsibility. Cloud vendor adopt to HIPAA compliance strategies and enter into business associate agreement to operate on a legalized base. It also executes regular audit and updates as a measure to maintain systems compliance with regulations. And the last one is monitoring tools. It registers all information, access, and changes, thereby creating a login or auditing mechanism for accountability purpose. What are some of the risks in cloud computing? Let's look at some of the risks and how we can reduce these risks. Risks to watch out for: hackers trying to steal data. The second risk is system going offline during migration. When you're in the process of transferring your information to cloud and the system goes offline, that is a risk to the organization. And the third risk is set up mistakes that leave data vulnerable. And how can we manage some of these risks? Number one, use a security operations center to monitor for threats. The second one is train staff regularly on best practices and make sure that all the important staffs are there when it's time for training. The last risk is pick a trustworthy cloud provider. So how do we transition? What are the transition plans for the town of Grand Canyon? First step, access current data. It is important to identify where the electronic PHI is located, how it is being used, and who has access to it. And the second step is update the policies. Formulate HIPAA policies and train employees in that direction. The third step is to select a cloud provider. Get a partner who has background in healthcare and the HIPAA realm. And lastly is implement gradually. Transfer data in step. Do not be in a rush to transfer everything at once. It will cause interruption. So transferring data in steps will help to reduce interruptions in the system. Custom large language structure. What are LLMs, which is large language models? These are formidable AI instruments that enables data analysis and processing, data analytic and processing. So how does this custom large language structure help in the healthcare system? It tells us the care recommendation for the patient based on the data, which is the historical data, along with forecasting various elements such as physical resources in hospitals will be required. Along with forecasting various elements such as physical resources in hospitals will be required. And lastly, why cloud matters. Cloud matters. Why the cloud system matters. Cloud system makes these tools more scalable and thus become more efficient. And the role of cloud providers in healthcare. What are some of the role of cloud providers in healthcare? Core service. What are some of the services they provide? Store and maintain the patient's information in a secure manner. Offer tools for data analytics and data sharing. Offer disaster recovery solution for fast restoration during interruption. And what are some of the benefits? Centralized data for easier management, increase synergy between departments, and reduce risks of losing essential and important data. And lastly, we'll talk about the recommendations. What are some of the recommendations? Talk about some of the recommendations before we go to the conclusions. So the recommendation I have here is to bring the the present gaps to an end. That is the interrupted policies and lack of training. So like I mentioned before, we have to train staff, we have to implement some policies. The second recommendation is develop and implement a sound HIPAA compliant agreement. The third recommendation is to make it smooth and quick. Prepare a step-by-step transition plan involving all concerned parties and to make sure everyone is present during this process. And for the conclusion, transitioning to cloud is a practical and secure way of optimizing the town of Grand Kenya's operation and promoting a patient-centered approach. So I've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you everyone for joining.